Peace, HHDG. We're on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. And as always, big shout out to everyone that tunes in through our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook group. And this is always made possible through our company, our family, our 5 owners that represent HHDG Media Inc. And they consist of Rock Vader KB, the Mayor, T. Smith, Skelly Top, and myself, Wiki. As you can see on our bottom banner, you can go to our website, hhdgmedia.com, where you can see our previous written interviews, music that's out there, our merch, and also upcoming events. For tonight, we have a lyricist that I've grown to enjoy more and more, and definitely put his music on repeat and sometimes rewind certain parts of his verses just to get a better glimpse and see what else is in those bars. Because when you listen to certain artists like the one I'm going to interview tonight, there's more than just what you hear the first time. And I always enjoy that when you can go back and you dive deep into it and you hear more and more. And it's also great to see how artists can depict their life, past, present, and future, and also speak on positivity through a learning experience, which our guest for tonight does very exceptional with that through his music. And just like in his latest project that just dropped on September 9th, A Corpse on the Stage, with also the 17 Cypher, big shout out to Harmony Equality, he proved that once again. And with the concept with the new project was a change of what we do, dying to live. And he flipped that around. And we'll talk about how he goes into that. Also, I've noticed, maybe it might just me, what numbers in, but there's something special, might be something special with September when it comes to releases with our artists. And aside from just being a lyricist, also does some hosting through his own podcast, Detroit State of Mind, which we'll talk about that as well. And also want to learn how the friendship with 17 Cypher, Harmony Equality, came to be, and as well as putting out dope physicals through Bars Over BS. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce, for the first time on HHDG Media, Ma.
Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good, man. How about yourself?
Good. I'm doing good. Doing good.
Cool.
Now, before we even talk about the new album, let us know your journey and how you seamlessly integrate speaking on positivity, but not just making it sound like everything is always so great. You bring the good with the bad. You bring the learning experiences as well. How that came to be in your life, and then put forth through in the music as well.
I would have to say, it really just my outlook on life and where I'm from. From Detroit. For people that don't know, it's a real place, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a really real place. There's people going through real things. I myself have been through a lot of real things, but I've been on both sides, since I've been a civilian and I played around out there, and did some things I probably shouldn't have did. I'm not really proud of. But everything that you go through just kind of makes you who you are, and always kind of want to put, I guess if I can say in a cliche kind of way, I kind of want to put the medicine in the candy, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Lure you in with some graphic details and some in-depth explaining of some very dark themes, but at the same time giving you something to hold on to and something that resonates within that. And that's pretty much my whole scheme of what I'm, trying to accomplish. So
Got you. Now, I also noticed, I think it was around maybe 2012, you went from Mars to Mar. Was there a change in your life, and then also you wanted to change in your music as well at that time?
yeah, definitely, man. Actually, I had a couple of name changes. I had another name between Mars and Mar. I went by Mike Friday. So I have a project that I put out called Friday Night that was between that. But basically what it was, man, was I was trying to really in find the right representation for myself as far as the name goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already started out with Mar. With people that don't know, that's the acronym for my real name, my government name. But I threw the S on it because I made it into something called making a real statement. And I was playing off of that for a long time, but then something about it just didn't feel right. And I just wanted something that felt more right, more aligned with myself, as an artist, as a person, you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
when I went back to the drawing board, I played around with a few different names, but I was just like, let me go back to the initials of my actual real name. Instead of just going by my real name, I just go by Mark. So, that's pretty much what that was.
Okay. Got you. Now, before we went on, I was talking about listening to one of your early projects, and you said it was your first Mission to Mars, the God Complex mixtape, which was 2010, I think it was.
Correct.
One of my favorite tracks on there is Age 13.
Okay, yeah.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the story in that song and how that came to be?
It's been a minute since I heard it.
Good.
I do remember bits and pieces about what I was talking about on there. If I'm not mistaken, I was talking about me just coming up young and being attracted to hip hop and other things, other like activities that was going on in there. I can't quite remember exactly lyric for lyric because it's been so long. I don't listen to old stuff, so it's been so long since I heard that. I wish I would have known. I would have listened to it and been able to give you more. What I'm saying? So I didn't know you was going that far back, man.
That's all good. So let's do this. Let's play the track. Rekindle the mind a little bit, and then you can speak on it from there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Let me get it up real quick. All right. Arms.
It all started around age 13, a fresh-faced teen, skipping 8th grade. That's the Wu-Tang tape played in my baggy dress jeans. Used to dream that I had cream busting out the seams of them, and I had the jacket to match. At 14, way mature than the average cat, shooting craps in the laboratory, head crack. You ain't about to get me for my bus fare, run it back. The way I stuff a dime bag, can't run it back. Like Walter Payton, fresh Gary Payton's, Nautica J class, lame dudes I skate past. Push a stolen whip the prom night and spank ass. We was questioning them at 16. Tommy Buns is sincere, I am so sincere. We was just trying to be them off the big screen. So we hit French roll like mellow and rings, trying to push our little sacks like placentas. Went from the block to a juvenile center. Never really had a positive male mentor. To my recollection, as far as I remember, born in September, but I ain't no virgin, Virgo. Y'all sound homo, soft shade butter ass niggas. I'ma make butter ass niggas. My name get around niggas, better ask niggas. It used to be EVA Pro with some niggas that you may or may not know. We took this shit at gunpoint, but at some point niggas switch up. But I'm a man and I can't bitch up. Catch up, niggas is looking like mustard. The death of the dynasty was really disgusting. He could've hit me on the jack, we could've discussed it. How can I get dropped from a label this busted? It's nothing. On to the next one, cause I can give a fuck on the track and make a check come. Let it marinate. Throw money in the sky, watch it levitate. Scrap, I'm in shape like a welterweight champ. My flow is parallel to a fully loaded biscuit. For the bread, I will eat these squares like a Triscuit. I ain't with the trick shit. I will crumble niggas like some tinfoil, Pennzoil. All I write is slick shit. Flow so relentless. I seen so much Hollywood shit in this business. I seen them when they pop bottles with top models, and now they begging for a place to sleep with them same bitches. So as I sit and watch this whack shit from a distance, a nigga started questioning his own intentions. Cause how can I judge it by the way they run it when I done had the same mixtape 2 years coming? I just keep on drumming cause that's life on me. I just pray the creator will shine light on me. And when it seems like things is not going in the way that you think, it's because you can't drive in the passenger seat. Let his will be done. And if it's written in the stars, then it will be done. I gotta be on the run. I'm out.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I ain't heard that in so long, man. Yeah, yeah, man. But I mean, I guess going back to your question, your original question. Um, so what happened with that song, now that I remember, is early on, I used to be with this record label called EVA Pro in Detroit. And we used to run around doing ciphers. We used to go down to the little hip hop radio station ciphers too. Big Sean and then was down there, all of that. So we was wrapped up in that. And things went sour with that record label. I don't know exactly what happened, but I just had got a call from somebody and they told me like, yeah, you know, we dropping all the artists and da 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 da. And I was it's supposed to be like a big thing. Like, you know, we actually was making some noise. We put out a mixtape with a group of us that was on the label, like a compilation tape. And it was making some noise and we was, you know, going around doing our thing. And then all of a sudden it's just like everything came crashing down. And I didn't really have much to leave with from there, you know what I'm saying, besides the experience of going through it. And that's pretty much what birthed like my solo trajectory, so to speak, because after that, that's when I started working on solo project for myself. So when I say Mission to Mars is my first solo project, it really is. And it really did take me 2 years to put it together. But yeah, that I had been with a previous record label before that, and that kind of helped along the way, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really where that came from. And then, you know, I just was perfecting my craft and you know, had to take it all the way back to when I kind of fell in love with this thing, which was probably before age 13, now that I think about it. But yeah, man, I just had to tell the story. And that's I can hear where my that's around the time my pen was getting better at crafting records that could take you from A to B, like take you through a whole world or a process. I was really playing around with that at the time, and just really speaking from a real place, which made it a lot easier. So yeah, man, yeah, that's crazy.
Got you. Now, listening to that song, and you know, for me, that was, it came out about 15 years ago, but I'm not sure when you exactly recorded it. But listening to your flow on there, it was already, you know, defined that you were already, you had the pen game there and the structure and everything. So
Yeah,
my thing is, you know, for a lot of artists, there's a certain point where they know that this is what they're capable of doing. For you, when did that come?
I probably after I put that mixtape out, because it got a good response, and then I was more confident in myself at that time, having had nothing and then actually put something out, and then seeing a response that people was giving me. Um, Even before then, actually, you know what I'm saying? Just being in ciphers with other rappers and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and the response that I would get back from them would be like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you going crazy, you know? And so, yeah, I think that's kind of where it kind of started. And then I just, from there, just trying to figure out how to do this thing, or how to put it out to the world, or, it ain't no manual to this, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you just jump in and you ain't got no connects or nothing like that. And especially coming from where I'm coming from, which is Detroit, especially around that time, it wasn't a lot. Um, it wasn't a lot of ways that had been proven that I could make it out of here by doing this. So it was just going through the trial and error of that. But yeah, what gave me that battery in my back and the confidence was actually putting out the first project for real and seeing how people responded to it. So yeah, that was that.
Nice. And do you feel that coming up in the ciphers helped you as well, to network and then also work on your pen games too?
Yeah, definitely. Still sharp as steel. So, you gotta you can rap all day to yourself, write as much as you want. But if you really trying to make an impact, or you really want to see how you measure up in the game, you gotta kind of rap with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people, especially when I was growing up, there was a lot of guys that just quiet as hell writing mad raps in their books, but they would never let nobody hear them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how you even know you nice if you don't let somebody even hear it? I mean,
Hear
for
it, yeah.
me, I'm sorry, because some guys they be having that undeniable confidence. It's just like, it don't matter what I say, I'm nice, and it's like, all right. But for me, uh, and to this day, honestly, I really don't know exactly what's good or not that I do. So I have to have people listen, and I have to measure it up to things in order to see where it's at, you know. And so yeah, so rapping in ciphers and next to other people who can really, really rap is kind of very, very instrumental in me getting sharp with mine. So yeah.
Now you also go by the motto Mars the future. Tell us when that came to be.
Yeah. So really, that's just my email.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I put too much
Yeah.
thought
When
into
I
that one.
yeah, when I was going by Mars, I just created the email and I never changed it. And so it's
Mhm.
just been the same forever. So like, yeah, that's all, man. Really was playing off of 50 Cent. That 50 Cent is the future mixtape that
Ah,
long
okay.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I got it from. So it was just a play on that. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Now, being that you got heavily influenced by hip hop, was there anyone else growing up, friend or family that helped, be that catalyst for put you on to other music as well in hip hop?
Um, yeah, but in a very indirect way. Um, So I grew up. I had a lot of. I had like three aunts in one house. You know what I'm saying? Like, my
Mhm.
grandmother had no sons. I'm the first grandchild, so I was like her son. But she had
Oh,
four
okay.
girls, including my mom. Right. So they would, while they would babysit me, they were in high school, and I guess, all they would do is just watch video box all day. So that kind of influenced me. And then, like, as they got older, they started having their own places, like their own homes. So I remember I would go over like my aunt's house and I would just sit in front of her radio all day with the headphones. This is when people had stereos in their house, and just with the headphones on and just listening to like Outkast CD.
Mhm.
And I used to love LaFace Records because they would put the lyrics inside of the actual CD. So I would just listen to it and then read the lyrics along as they're rapping it, and it kind of helped me better understand what they were talking about. Because
Mm-hmm.
listening, I can hear it one way, but when I'm reading it, it reads out completely different to me, and it helped me understand lyrics and how to structure bars. So low key, I was kind of getting an education by doing that in lyricism, but indirectly, like I was just a fan, just a big fan of music, and so yeah, indirectly, like I think my aunts and their musical taste really influenced how I look at music and what I listen to, and it really helped shape my ear a lot. So that's them the yeah, that's it.
Big respect to them. So,
Yeah.
do you remember one of your earlier songs that you wrote, or might not even be a song, could have been just just whatever you wrote in your book, like any type,
Uh
like the type of content that it was.
yeah, I mean, you mean like my first raps like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first rap, I don't remember the rap bar for bar. I'm not gonna lie to
Mm-hmm.
you. But I remember this though. I do remember this. So I never wanted to rap until I heard Nas, right? Like I was just a fan up until the point where I heard Nas the message and then it instantly clicked. I was like, I want to rap. Like it was like night and day. Never heard of Nas before, heard the message and was like, oh, I want to like planted the seed right in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rap like freestyling with the homies, like we would rap smoking and stuff like that, but it wasn't never nothing serious. I never took rap serious until like way later on. I didn't rap when I was a kid or none of that. Um, but when I did write a rap, it's because I had a dream that I wrote a rap. And I woke up and wrote the entire rap that I dreamed about.
Wow.
And that's when I started writing more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. Like I really did some hot shit the night before, and it was like we got in the house like 3 in the morning. I'm in my aunt's house. I went to sleep on the couch, and I remember just waking up with this whole verse, and it was cold too. And I remember writing it all out on a piece of paper and reading it. And I was like, man, this is kind of sweet. And I'm listening to it, but then I'm like, listen, I'm reading it back to myself. I'm like, this sounds like something Nas would say. But like, like all my early raps was like heavy Nas raps. Like it was crazy. So like, yeah, like that's the earliest I remember actually writing raps for real. Like, yeah. So
That's dope. That's dope. I've noticed you work with Robot Orchestra, who's from Germany. This is the same
yeah,
producer, right? Okay. How'd you end up linking up with him?
yeah. Um, I believe I mean, obviously we linked up online. I want to say that was a minute ago. I want to say it might have been like Facebook or MySpace or something like that. Like we got in touch with each other online somehow. I can't
Mm.
remember what site it was, but it was strictly that. And then he had some beats. He had quite a few albums up already, and I was going through them, and we started emailing each other, and we was just like, let's do a project. And so he emailed me a bunch of beats. It took a minute, but we got it done. Probably took me like almost a year actually. I used to make music very slow back then, but yeah, he was emailing me beats. Those was some of the first drumless beats I ever rapped over, and this was like 2013 probably when that came out. Um, and he didn't understand that at all because he had put these beats up, and I was listening to him. Might have been SoundCloud or something. I was listening to him,
Hmm.
and I remember he was sending me beats with mad drums because producers who like Jay Dilla a lot, they tend to like be crazy with the drums, which is nothing wrong with that. I love drums too. However, at that point in time, he had like a whole project out with no drums at all, just like chords and strings and melodies. And I really was liking those beats better than the ones he was sending with the drums.
Hmm.
And at the time, he didn't even understand that. Like he was like, "You want to rap over this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is fire. Like I want to rap over these joints with no drums on them, man. Like these shits go." And he was like, "All right, have at it," So I did a couple of those on there. Um, but yeah, man, it was fun. It was interesting. That's the first time I had ever did anything like that. And shout out to Robot Orchestra, man. I gotta hit him up. It's been a minute.
Nice, nice. And for those that are listening to him tell his story right now, the Pursuit of Prestige EP is
Yeah,
on your Bandcamp, and I just put it in the comments for everyone to tune in. You can also see it on right now as we're speaking.
fire.
Are you know, I know a lot of people when it come to writing their lyrics, some people have evolved to, you know, just typing it on their phone. Are you one of those people that you still write in a book, or you go to the phone?
Nah, man, I don't do any of that, man. I just go in.
Oh, you just go in? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I graduated like from writing, and then I did write in my phone for a while,
Hmm.
and then after a while, man, around the time I got my own studio set up, it's around the time I did Don't Run From It. And probably some of my last raps in there that I actually wrote out. But it's just much easier for me to just record just in front of the mic. If I mess up, then just record over and then just layer it up like that. So I
All
hate to
right.
break people's hearts because I know people they really like be into like the writing, but it's really at at this point in my life, I've been doing this for quite a while. It's
Hmm.
really hard, man, and for me to just sit down with pencil and paper and write out a rap. It's
Okay.
so hard, man. And, you know, so yeah, I got a real formula for how I do the raps because I do them on the spot, right in front of the mic. So uh I have to I can't oversaturate my ears a lot. So I really don't come up with nothing until I come to the studio.
Okay.
Like even if somebody send me beats, I might listen to them, I might pick a few out, but I don't really listen to them until I get to the
Until you
studio
get
for
in
real. For real. Yeah,
there.
because you got to go where inspiration flows, and I have to keep it fresh on my ears in order to get that inspiration from it. So I've done that where I've had beats that was fire, and then I played it so much before I even got to the studio that I wasn't excited about it no more. And I feel like that's a lost song I could have had that was fire. So yeah, man, I try to keep everything in one spot, and I record when I get here. And
Hmm.
sometimes I bring ideas. I do have premeditated ideas sometimes, not all the time. Um, for the most, keep it fresh as I can for my ear. Yeah, that's how I do it.
Okay. So Detroit State of Mind is the name of your studio.
Yeah.
Did you start the studio and the podcast around the same time?
Yes. Yes. So it's like two studios in one.
Hmm.
Obviously we trying to expand on it and make it. What my plans is to kind of expand on it and have like a facility. But for right now, it's just basically like two studios in one. It's a podcast area, and then there's an area where we do music at. Um, the podcast is Detroit State of Mind. Shout out to my man Trez. That's my podcast co-host. Um, so yeah, that's the studio I work out of pretty much for the last 2 years probably. So yeah.
Nice, nice. And if anybody wants to go check them out, I know you have them on your YouTube. And if you want to really go in deep dive, you got more episodes on your SoundCloud.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're a little bit on hiatus right now because we trying to we trying to beef it up. Pause. We trying to expand and make it look right for the listeners. So we're taking time out to really get our stuff together, and so when we come back outside, it's gonna look great. It's gonna look great. So yeah.
Before we go into another project, just give the people a little more insight into what you speak about on the podcast?
So the podcast itself, man, we like to say it's basically the world according to two dudes from Detroit for the most part. So it is like barbershop talk, but it's from the perspective of these two Midwest guys that's from, this great city of Detroit. So um we touch on everything. We got a few different segments that we do. Like the illest nigga in Nebraska segment where we just spotlight somebody on the internet that done something that was crazy ill. Um, we got another segment called Gems for Gents, where we give tips and pointers to young men coming up who, as far as grooming yourself and keeping yourself together and fashion and stuff like that. So yeah, we speak on a little bit of everything. We try to keep our run of the mill segment at a certain point. You don't want the whole podcast to just be what's going on right now on the internet.
Right.
We try to take a topic and really dive into that one topic, or take a situation and really explore, bounce a conversation off of that situation, instead of, because my thing is I like to talk about things and ideas more than I like to talk about people. So that's why I'm trying to see what I can get out of a situation that's going on. Like right now, we would be trying to see what we can get out of the Charlie Kirk situation or something like that without actually talking about Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. I get
So
that.
like,
I like
yeah,
that.
so that's the approach. Yeah. Yep.
The, the definition of incomparable, without an equal in quality or extent. Tell us why you go by the incomparable Mar.
Um, well, initially I had said it on a record and I was like, I like the sound of that. And I like it the most because you, it's hard to kind of compare, what I'm doing to at the time to a lot of what was going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just took it and ran with it. Plus, when you got something like that, that's I would say it's kind of original in a sense because I never heard another rapper use that moniker at all. You know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, it feels very original, but at the same time, it kind of feels familiar because the closest I could probably think of that's in that same vein would be a Notorious B.I.G. So like it's kind of in that same vein, but it's just a different spin. You know what I'm saying? Um, Something that I feel like that I use to kind of separate. When you hear Incomparable on the beat, you pretty much gonna know it's me because who else is saying it? You know? Yeah.
Yep.
That's that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So we have Mar as the MC, a host of his own show. You also do engineering and production work.
Yeah.
Did you go to school for any of these? Did they come out of necessity? How did they come to be? Because I know
Yeah.
the project Summer Nights, as one I noticed that you did the engineering work on there.
Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, it's all out of necessity, man. Um Studio time was getting steep up here. I ain't gonna lie to you. Once it got to about $100 an hour, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be able to I ain't gonna be able to maintain this for too long, especially trying to put out product as much as I was trying to put out,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I mixed a couple of records on Pursuit of Prestige. That's kind of where it started. Um, and so over the years, I just got really good and familiar with it, and I just sought out to get better for the most part because I knew I wanted to produce. I wanted to engineer my own vocals and put my own songs together because I knew after I did Friday Night, I knew for a fact that I was just going to buy my own studio and start
Mm-hmm.
recording myself And with that, I didn't want to record myself and then still have to ship it off to get mixed and mastered. You know, I wanted to keep it all in house. So it came out of pure necessity. And what wound up happening is I wound up getting good. And so now people starting to kind of hit me up about it a little bit. So, I
That's
got good
great.
enough now. Yeah, thank you. I got good enough now to where I'm not um to where I'm good enough to do it if somebody asks me for full price. At first I wasn't as confident in it. I'm like I because my ears and what people hear, it take a while to develop your engineer ears. And I think the average listener don't really know exactly what they're listening to. But even I know though when I'm listening, what I'm listening to. So even in my own mixes early on, I knew that I feel like this is okay, but it's not good enough, especially good enough to I feel like advertise myself as an engineer. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So now I'm finally at a point where I'm like, okay, it's good enough to where I can put that hat on and walk around with it. Like, yeah, I'm an engineer also. So yeah,
Yep. I always say, an engineer can make or break an album.
yeah, yeah. That's fact. That's facts.
I mentioned something in the intro about September because A Corpse on the Stage dropped this month. Bad as It Sounds dropped in the month of September, and I think there was one other one. Don't Run From It. I think that also dropped in September. Is there any significance to this month?
Um, that's sheer coincidence, honestly.
Okay.
It's not something I was planning to do. I will say my birthday is in this month. My birthday is actually September 9th. Um, so that's the only real correlation, but it's just kind of like where things kind of fell. It
Mhm.
wasn't like nothing preconceived or nothing like that. Yeah, it wasn't really crazy deep. It's just that's how things fell. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's some type of celestial thing going on. I don't know. You know what I'm
Could
saying?
be. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely could be. Yep. Now you also, um, sorry, you also promote a brand, MRDS.
Yeah. So that's a clothing brand that me and my co-host Trez for the podcast. That's a clothing brand we started in 2018. And
Mhm.
forgive me because we really haven't stayed on top of it. But we did a few shirts and things from like 2018 to like 2020, I think.
Mhm.
Um and so we just kept the page up for the most part. Yeah. But that was like my first foray into doing some type of merch. I've done a few things since then as far as merch designs go. Some of my
Yeah.
own merch designs from when I'm sorry, excuse me. Some of my own merch designs from when Don't Run From It came out. I did a shirt design for that. Um, so yeah, it was a great experience and I learned a lot about clothing and make producing clothing and designing because I did a lot of those designs too. Um, so yeah, it was a very good learning experience for me as far as that go, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more of those things.
Nice, nice. So you definitely well seasoned it, and way more avenues than a lot of people know about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just you just need some type of catalyst, a platform. You know what I'm saying, to kind of to kind of propel yourself from. So the way I look at it is, everything is. I'm using everything works within works together in tandem. so to speak.
Mhm.
Because at this point I could do my own merch, honestly. I'm just trying to get myself into position as far as this rap thing go. So when I do go back into the merch game, that it will make sense in the most part. So I'm kind of saving that part of myself in for a larger stage, so to speak. So yeah, but it's there though. It's definitely there.
Dope, man. I think that makes some of the best business people in knowing not just their worth, but knowing that out of certain necessities, you find out other skills that you have that you would have never thought of. And then here you are with the brand, the engineering, you got your own studio, production. It could even be a little bit more. You just never know until you
Yeah,
try it. And you're an example of that.
right. Thank
Now we're going to talk about the new album that just dropped last week. But before we do that, we have to talk about how you met up with Harmony and Quality of 17 Cypher.
you. Yeah, man. Beast of Harmony, man. Um, she the real goat for real, honestly.
True indeed.
Um, yeah, man. So Harmony. So shout out to Bub Rock. So I got introduced to her through Bub Rock.
That's dope.
Yeah. And shout Bub Rock, that's my man. It's like that's my guy right there. He introduced me to her around the time she was having a MC battle on Twitter,
Mhm.
Twitter Spaces. I think at the time this was like her second battle. So I didn't even know about the first one or none of that, but I won the second one. So I just jumped in, didn't know her, didn't know anything. I just knew, and yeah, we've been rolling ever since then. She's been a big part of like everything that's going on, especially with me, but not just me, with other artists too, that's all like incorporated into the 17 cipher. So but yeah, that's where it started, man. I think that was like 2024, maybe, um, or maybe like late 23. No, it was definitely 2024.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then after I won the battle, she had hit me up and she was like, "Would you be interested in doing a project with the 17 Cipher?" And I was like, "Yeah, most definitely." And we just been clicking ever since then, man. Like, it's been more than one project too. It's been a whole bunch of projects. So, and more to come, honestly. So, so yeah, man. Shout out to Harmony, man.
Yeah. Big shout out to Homie. I've told her before, the quality of work and the curating that she's been doing is to be well respected. And I enjoy seeing it and I enjoy hearing, these projects. You had the first project drop, the 17 Cypher. Then you had the Myers effect, um, accidents, the dope EP with you, Doza the Drum Dealer, and Wavy the God. And
Shout
then
out to
what's
those. Shout out to Wave.
definitely. And then the Traveling Sound with True Cypher. You know, each and every project's dope. Top quality. The the MCs, producers that she's been working with, and this is all coming from her ear and what she would like to present to the world. So again, big respect to everything she's been doing.
Yeah, no doubt.
And being that I showed this CD, big shout out to Bars Over BS. You know, they are top tier. I well respecting what they've been doing. Every project they drop is top quality, and the creativity coming from Ronnie Explorer on these designs and artwork as well is amazing. So big shout out to the whole Bars Over BS.
Shout out to bars, man. You know, I got bars. I got Corpse on the Stage dropping tomorrow on bars
Yes,
too.
indeed. 3 p.m.
So hell yeah. Shout out to bars, man. They be looking out, and they from the crib too. So yeah, much respect to bars, man.
That's what's up. Respect. Now, 2025, you had the new album. The new album, A Corpse on the Stage, and also Cold Work, produced by
Yeah.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put up the link to your Bandcamp so people know that you've been consistently putting in work, and it's not just projects. You got guest features as well. Then you got the collaboration EP that we just mentioned. So people know who you are, and they continuously see your name, and they see the skills and the delivery that you've been dropping with the content as well. So, I mean, what MCs out there, you know, have reached out to you to give you a respect, or say, even if they want to work with you?
I mean, besides like MCs, that's like I consider like peers that's on the same tier. Um, I had Vinny Pass reach out yesterday or the other day ago. He told me I was
Nice.
dope. Shout out to Vinny Pass. Um, Shout out to I mean is a producer, but he not a rapper. I don't think he rap, but Don Carrera reached out.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, he reached out the other day, you know what I'm saying, told me I was fire. Um, yeah, man, people from the home turf, Ty Ferris reached out, you know,
Big
told me I
respect
was
to this guy.
dope, told me to keep killing it. Um, yeah, I can't think offhand too many more, but yeah, it's been a few reached out. Um, to let me know that, you know, basically I'm on their radar. So yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, Illa G. I think that's his
Oh,
name.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
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 I'm not
He
too
always
sure.
show love. Shout out to Illa G. Yeah. But
That's what's
yeah, man. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
dope. So let's talk about the new album, A Corpse on the Stage. You know, I mentioned in the earlier about your more recent projects being concept driven, and they've all been dope. What made you want to go into the concept of dying to live and then change that up?
Yeah. Um, so a corpse on the stage, honestly, to be honest with you, um, it kind of started with the title. The title, it just popped in my head one day. I think I was having a conversation with Harmony about what EP we wanted to do. This was way back earlier in the year. Um, and I was like, I think I want to do something called A Corpse on the Stage. I can't, I just, the title just came to me.
Mhm.
And then basically I started building from there. Like, what does that even sound like? Because I just like the title. To me, it sounds like a creepy old book or an old movie or something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, but what does that sound like? And so I started there. I was like, well, you know, kind of sounds like funeral, but it kind of sounds like a live show or a movie, you
Mhm.
know? And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, you got to make that make sense. And I'm like, well, in a sense, I mean, it's kind of saying like, if you're dying to live, it's kind of a flip on that in a way. And once I kind of put that puzzle piece there, it kind of everything just kind of clicked for me as far as like what I wanted it to sound like, look like, in the direction that I wanted it to go in. I knew then and there that I needed to have that intro with the death doula talking me through the process. I knew I had to have that because I don't think without that and the other skit that I got towards the end, I don't think it really fully fleshes out and makes sense without those. To me, it don't. So I knew I had to have those two skits. Um, and I think the first song I might have did was "It Smell Like Death in Here," and I knew when I heard that was the intro
Mm.
because that's the setup for the whole thing. And so I had that song for a while, honestly, almost a year now. Um,
Shout
and
out to Flip
so
Jackson.
yeah, shout out to Flip Jackson, man, crazy beat. And yeah, man, I just started building from there, man, building the concept like as I go, but keeping the direction that I knew I wanted to go in my head. Initially, I wanted two sounds because I think every album got two to three sounds, right? Every album has two sounds. Well, every good album that I listen to has two sounds, and then a third sound that's a sort of a experimental sound that's in there
Hmm.
between the two sounds. But initially, I wanted the dark, grimiest, like hip hop beats you could find, mixed with some very like beautiful live instrumentation. That's what I really wanted in the beginning. And I kind of succeeded in certain ways, but I had to work with what I was getting at the time. And so all the concepts started to fall into place once I did each, like once I finished one song, the next concept for the next song was kind of falling into place. And believe it or not, I probably did most of this album like 2 weeks ago. Because I
Lord.
had yeah, I had a couple songs already. I had like four or five songs maybe, and some shit that wasn't finished, but it was getting down to the deadline, and I'm like, I have to finish this record. Like it has to come out, and it got to be right. So I just grinded it out a couple of weeks ago, man, and got everything done and all of the pieces and the skits and put it together and mixed and mastered. Like it was crazy. Like I never worked that hard in my life, honestly, on a record, but it paid off. You know, it really paid off, and it really fully fleshed out the idea of what I was trying to do. I think I accomplished the dark tones and schemes that I was trying to accomplish. I used all of the titles that I was trying to use, as far as like themes and stuff for the record. It's only one song that I wanted that I didn't have time to actually do, and it's okay because that song would have been the very last song, like a roll the credits song, so to speak.
Okay.
But it's still good without that, you know. But yeah, man, I had a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun chopping up them horror movie samples. I love horror movies, so that took me down this dark rabbit hole of using that in those sounds to um, tell the story of what I'm trying to tell. You know, and that's again, we putting the medicine in the candy. You know, we wrapping something up in this dark gothic kind of type of theme, but it's actually something beautiful in there. And you'll know once you get to the last song, because the last song don't sound like nothing else. It's very bright. It's very suns out when you hear that song, and the whole rest of the album is the sun is down. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
when you get to that one song and make it home, it's like you made it. You arrived at where you were supposed to be at. So yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Shout out to Wavy the God, and let me know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Is it China Black?
Yeah, I believe it's Sheena Black. Yeah,
Okay.
and Wavy did a beat. Yeah, most definitely. Fire. I had that song for a long time too, like almost a year.
Hey, you got to give yourself credit though, curating as well, because
Yeah, no doubt.
the way that the whole album is placed together with the sequence, and it all came out dope. And
Yeah,
you gave a good part of that explanation of having the parts of making the album.
yeah. Thank you. Thank
And even though there were only two features on here as far as MCs, I Am God and Rim from Villains. Both of them, they killed their verses on here, and I think Rim was mentioning this was probably one of his best verses.
Yeah. Shout out to Rim, man. Yeah. Yeah, that record wasn't even supposed to be on there.
Oh, really?
But I'm glad it is though. Yeah. I'm glad it is. I am. That's one of my favorite joints now.
Yep. And tell us how those two features ended up being on this album.
Yeah. So once again, shout out to Rim, man. He be looking out in more ways than people even know, man. He's a good guy. Um, I had did that song. I think I had got done. I did the verse. I'm sorry, pardon me. Harmony gave me the beat. Shout out to True Cipher. Harmony shot me the beat. True Cipher did the beat. And that was just one of them days where I just came to the studio and I was just feeling like I wanted to do something different, right? Because a lot of times when I hear like a lot of records, and don't get me wrong, like I can be graphic and violent in my records, because I feel like when I come to the studio, I'm just letting off steam for real, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm talking about shooting you until you catch fire, it's really just because I'm just in the angry spot right now, and these feelings are real. But and I'd rather just talk about it on the record than actually shooting somebody in person until they catch fire. So but that day, and for a long time, man, I've been feeling like black people, man, we be having a lot of smoke for each other,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't always have a lot of smoke for who the true enemies are, who the
Yep.
true people that want to hold us down. And that's how I was really feeling that day. And that's the record I made, was to get back the smoke for the real oppressor, and sent it back to Harmony. She loved it. And I don't know. I think she sent it to Rim, and Rim wanted to jump on it, so Rim jumped on it, and he made it even better. Um, and so yeah, that's how that came together. Um, and Get Yours Through Sacrifice with I Am God. Shout out to I Am God. Hell
Another
of an
piece.
MC out of Chicago. Boy is nice. Um, that was another early record. I knew I wanted to have a record with him on it. I knew it was going to be some super hip hopped out craziness. And so I sent him the record. I think I did have my verse on it and I had the hook on it. And he sent it back with his hook
Mm-hmm.
and his verse on it. And so I was like, dope. Like I got more than what I even was asking for. You know what I'm saying? And he made the song better. Like it made the hook better. So he filled in those blanks and did his thing. And, he went crazy on his verse. And then I'm like, damn, like what I'm gonna do now? Cause because I only rapped like 12 bars in the beginning. And then I did the hook. And then he came in and he did, I don't know, a crazy amount of bars. And he did the hook. So I'm like, I gotta rap after him, you know what I'm saying, in some capacity. And that's what I did. And so that record was a record that just kind of sat around until I figured out how to finish it. So when I came up with how to finish it, I'm like, oh, because I always want to do some type of beat switch. I don't never want things to feel so predictable and formulaic. You know what I'm saying? I feel like having beat switches and shit like that and disruptions in your album can keep the listener's attention. So I I figured I was like, okay, well, this would be a perfect chance to do a beat switch. So I rapped a little bit after he rapped just to get some bars off on that beat. And then I threw the beat. I had to find the right beat switch, found the beat switch. And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is perfect because it goes right into the sacrifice part of this album that I wanted to talk about. And it's a whole different kind of tone, you know what I'm saying, than the actual beat beforehand. It's a different BPM, so to speak, but it wasn't too different for me to copy and paste some hooks on there with the get yours, was really set it off for real. So I was like, oh, so this all makes crazy sense in my head. I just got to do the work on the computer, honestly. And it took a minute, but I finished it, and that was the first record that I had mixed and mastered. So it kind of set the tone for sonically how I wanted all of the songs to measure up. You know what I'm saying? So every song that I did had to measure up against that song to make sure it sounded right and it was full and you know stuff like that, engineer stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, man, finishing that. Probably more fun finishing it than I had starting it because it took me a while to finish it. But when I got it, it clicked. I got it, and it was just fun from there on out, man. So yeah,
Yeah, that transition was definitely seamless. And you're right. The
yeah,
emotion definitely changes with that mood of that
hmm
production on it.
yeah, man.
One of my favorite tracks, and I think I told you this on social media before. Death is around the corner. You know,
Yeah,
you gave a lot of food for thought in there and consequences, but at the same time, still always, like I mentioned earlier, positivity.
yeah. So Death Around the Corner, man. I knew I wanted to. That's probably like one of my favorite Tupac songs. So when I came across that sample, I was like, this would be perfect because it's giving me it's a cool G rap. I mean, it's not cool G rap. I'm bugging. It's it's a cool in the game. Sorry. So it's a cool in the game sample. Um, it's like wintertime sadness or something like that. It's like the opposite of summertime madness, which is one of my favorite records that they did.
Hmm.
And so I came across that loop and I was like, oh, this would be perfect to use to get that live instrumentation feel that I wanted on the record. And those that bass line is just so grimy. Like even with the beat stripped down from the Tupac version,
Yeah,
because I think Tupac they might have sped theirs up or slowed it down. No, they slowed it down. Tupac slowed the sample down, and then they layered the bass line. Doom, 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 doom. And I was like, that bass line is so damn dark and crazy, but it still was in the sample with like a little live instrumentation flair to it. So I was like, this works. It really works. And so I kept the concept. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I wound up just keeping that concept, that death around the corner concept. But I wanted to flip it. Like Tupac was talking to he was talking some dark shit. Like he was talking about paranoia and how he saw his own death, what I'm saying, around the corner, kind of
that's
predicting it
what
a
I
little
remember
bit,
up in here.
in a sense, yeah. And I was like, man, what if I tell some stories, some real stories about me seeing death around the corner for other people. And and then at the end, the last verse talking about, me seeing death around the corner for myself, but more so as we living on borrowed time, no time to waste. Do what you want to do now because is we all going to that same place kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's the vibe that it gave off. Um, so the first verse, I was just talking about a associate of mine that I used to run into, um, and how I could kind of see where things was going with him. The second verse, I was talking about my grandmother who literally just died like last week, um, but she was sick. She had been sick for a while, and so you can kind of see where things is headed. You know, that's not the first time I kind of been through that type of situation with somebody that was close to me.
Hmm.
And so, you walk in that hospital and you see that it's just a certain look in the eye and a certain feel in the air that's like, yeah, they're not going to be around much longer, and everybody is trying to remain positive and, they're just speaking good things into the air. But the truth is something about it that everybody's not talking about. It's like we all see it happening. before our eyes, you know, and they just want to be naive, and I get it, you know what I'm saying, why people would want to be naive, you know, it's a loved one and this, that, and the third, but you know, at the same time, this is the natural course of thing, and it's sad, but it's the true reality that, you know, we all kind of going there. And that was a point in time. I think probably the last time I saw her was probably a few weeks ago. I had kind of let go in, like, ooh, like this is it, you know. And just to give context, my grandmother like raised me, you know, it's kind of like my mom in a sense. So, you know, it's been a tough battle, and she fought for as long as she could, but you know, it was her time to go, and she left.
Mm.
Um, so I spoke about that and what I was feeling about that in the second verse, and then the last verse, like I said, it was just like, you know, when those things happen, and it's the second time, you know, I got kids, and you know, the mother of my kids passed away in 2023, and it was
Oh,
kind of like the same, yeah, it was like the same thing, like you know, she got really sick, and you know, before you know it, she was gone. And the same thing that I got from both of these situations was just basically looking my own mortality in the eye, in the face, like, you know, you don't know how much time you got, so like whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whatever it is you want to do, like, man, do it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, get to it, man. Like, do whatever it is you want. You only get one of these.
that's
You
it.
know,
Yeah,
ain't no coming back, man. So, you know, you all them days that you sat back binging Netflix, I mean, that's cool if that's what you want to do, but like, you know, I know that I got like goals and shit that I'm trying to accomplish, and sometimes I just need to, I just looking at your own mortality just makes you wake up about that, like, and makes you, keeps you on your grind and your purpose, and that's what the third verse was for me. So, you know,
indeed, indeed.
yeah, thanks. That's one of my favorite joints on there too.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I like it's very personal, and I definitely appreciate you going in on that. You know, that hits you when you learn more about how much people affect you in ways like that, and that's universal. And
Yeah,
to be able to use just your lyrical skills in the way you did for the song, and then being able to explain it is it opens it up to a different perspective now when I listen to the song.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, man.
Continuing with the album, we got to talk about other producers that did their thing on here. International MC, Act One. Who else on there? Flip
True
Jackson, which we talked
Cipher,
about.
Flip Jackson. I got Red's Corner. Oh, Golden Girl Productions. That's Miss
Right, right.
Corona for people who
Yep.
don't know.
Day of the Dead.
Straight
Yeah.
out, straight out of the city. Um, yeah, I did Death from Around the Corner myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Flausen did In the Middle of the Night, and he did the second portion of Get Yours Through Sacrifice, the beat switch. Wavy did the last joint, which is Make It Home. Um, oh, Act One. Did I say Act One? Act One
I
did
mentioned.
okay, yeah, he did the Suffering. Shout out to him. That was the last song I recorded.
Okay.
Um, the Suffering. Um, I don't think I'm leaving out anybody. Yeah, I think that's everybody.
You mentioned Red's Corner.
Yeah, Red's Corner did
All right.
Dearly Departed.
Now for your new album, did you do all of the engineering as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my last few albums, everything that came out this year, with the exception of accidents, I didn't engineer accidents.
Hmm.
But everything else that I put out, yeah, I did it. Yeah, and just last year too, because I did Summer Nights myself. I did Wolves Don't Bark last year. I did that. Pretty much everything since 2021 that's my solo that I've done it. I did Don't Run From It. I engineered that. It was like my first project that I fully engineered and did. Yeah. So I've been doing it. Yeah.
There it is. Are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah, man. Especially lately.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right, cool, cool,
big
cool.
time, man.
Because
And, like I'm getting into like, yeah,
okay, good.
I'm being lately. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I've been getting into like the making of these things
Oh yeah,
lately. Because ultimately, man, like I say this a lot, people be surprised, but like ultimately I want to do screenplays. So like
nice.
that's kind of like the big thing that I'm working myself up to, you know what I'm saying? Probably like in my crazy later years, but like I want to start writing screenplays. And so like I'm really into like the making of film and things that's sparking my interest right now. It's like cinematography and how things are shot and angles and stuff like that. So like when I'm not listening to music, I'm probably listening to something that's pertaining to that, you know, how they made a movie or something like that. Um, I watched Weapons yesterday. That was pretty good. It
Oh,
was
that
a
was good.
lot funnier. Yeah, it was a lot more sillier than I thought it was, but yeah,
Mm.
it was pretty good. It
Anything.
was good.
Yep. So being that on the new album, I heard portions of the film Phantasm. Are you a fan of that series?
Yeah, yeah. Especially the like the first two.
Hmm.
Um, I think I was like really young when I had saw the movie, and so like watching it now as I'm grown, like it, I didn't know what I was looking at. Like certain things, you don't know exactly you just know how it make you feel.
Uh-huh.
Like, but you don't, even if you don't comprehend it. So I find myself going back and looking at things now with grown up ears and eyes and analyzing it, and it still holds up. Honestly, it's just a creepy ass movie.
Yep.
And and the guy who made the movie, like he literally made the movie off of a dream that he had, a nightmare that he had about the little spear ball or whatever. So
Yep.
I was like, yeah, man, like he just made a nightmare come true. I'm like, it's crazy, but yeah, man, Phantasm is just, yeah, it's just an old creepy ass movie, man.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you mentioned that you've been watching a lot of behind the scenes on films because I've been doing I've been doing it off and on throughout the years, but I noticed HBO Max was doing it, and then I'm been watching Alien Earth, and they have a podcast as well for that, and listening to that, it's just amazing how much you find out what's going on behind the scenes in the mind of not just the creator, but also some of the improvised stuff that some of the actors did that they okayed. And I'm thinking back after watching the episode and listening to the podcast, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that insight, man, especially if you're interested in, wanting to do it or whatever, it's a lot of information in those type of podcasts and stuff. I'm not really hip to the alien thing.
Mhm.
I do have I got Alien, because I have a list of movies that I've never seen that I know that I want to watch. Alien and Aliens, I guess that's the second one with the S
Yep.
on it.
Yep.
Those two movies are on my list of like movies that I know that I have to watch at some point in time when I'm bored or I ain't got nothing to do. Um, but I've seen like the later Alien movies, like I've seen like Prometheus and like probably like Covenant and something else,
Okay.
and they was cool,
Hmm.
but people kind of speak highly of them first two, so I want to go back and watch them first two, see what they was
Absolutely.
hitting on. Yeah,
Yeah, you definitely gotta see those. Yeah, those are definitely my favorites. Yep. So, being that the EP you did with Dozer the Drum Deal and Wavy God was a bonus CD. Big
Fire.
shout out to Buzz Over BS once again.
Shout
Um,
out.
and y'all had Aida on there, who is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, how did that whole EP come to be? Because I know Doza is, he has been doing his thing. Shout out to whole Narcotex as well.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, shout out to those in the Narcotex, man. I think that was all Harmony, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. She reached out to me with the idea, asked me would I be interested. This was like after we did the Myers effect, because I think we got a joint on there together. It's me,
Mhm.
him, and can't forget who else was on there. But yeah, that so she reached out after that and was like, "What you think about doing something with Doza?" And I'm like, "I like Doza. Like he's nice." So like, yeah, like I'm always want to rap with the guys who can rap. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, we just started putting it together, man. He's we wind up. I don't know how we wind up going with all wavy beats, but we had a wavy pack and we just went through the beats, the ones that we like, and we just was trading verses back and forth. He sent me something, I sent him something, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it went, for the most part. It was very effortless, the way that kind of came together. Um, and it was fun. I mean, that's a common theme you're gonna find with me, man. Like if I ain't having fun, it's not getting done. Like
Magic.
for real. I
I feel
gotta
you, man.
have fun with this, man. Like, yeah,
It's the best music.
yeah, most definitely, man.
Yep. Once it becomes strictly a business, it's not the same.
Nah, it ain't, man. For real, I gotta have fun with it.
Indeed, indeed. So before we go, being that you're a man who has continued to give us listeners and supporters not just words of wisdom, but an insight into your life. You got any words of wisdom, you know, currently that come to mind?
Um, you mean like to anybody listening or like
Yeah,
artists or like what?
just anybody listening.
Man, I'll say this. This is my favorite thing to say, man. And shouts out to Biggie Smalls, man. My favorite motto above all is stay low and keep firing. Whatever it is that you're doing, man, just keep doing it. Put your head down, do the work, man. Don't even look up. You know what I'm saying? Just do the work and push it out, man. For real. Stay low and keep firing, man. You'll hit your target at some point, for real.
There it is. There it is. The new album by Mar, A Corpse on the Stage, is out now digitally, and tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go over to Bars Over BS and make sure you cop it on CD and cassette, right? Because they normally do both.
Yep, correct.
There it is, and it's not going to be that much. It's not going to be that long. Trust
A
me.
very, very, very limited release. So get it while you can.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Ma, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, learn more about you, the music, the new album, and your introspect on life as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely, definitely. We definitely look forward to seeing you again on here.
Yeah, most definitely. Anytime, man.
So before we go, let people know where they can reach out to you and also support.
Yeah, yo, peace. So you can find me on Twitter under or X under incomparable Mar, just all spelled out just like that. You can find me on Instagram under INC Mar. And yeah, those are two main joints I use, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I'm on TikTok too. If you want to hit me up on TikTok, it's under INC Mar. But yeah, man, that's all I use for real.
There it is. And once again, I have to shout out the curator because she helped get this interview going. Big shout out to Harmony Equality and the whole 17 Cypher. On behalf of HHDG Media Crew,
Peace.
we're going to say peace.
Peace. Peace.